fucking Dead by Daylight. Like a bunch of it. And boy, am I happy that I already knew how to play that game before Pyramid Head got announced and came out.
I was going to say it wasn't in the news, but I did hear that Pyramid Head, the sound of his ass cheeks are clapping in James's head. So.
Yep. Well, they're not clapping in James's head. They're clapping in Dead by Daylight. And I'm seeing some people go, it's Pyramid Head. It shouldn't be. It should be James because it's Heather from Silent Hill 3 in it, and it's like it's actually if you had actually looked at the game, it's actually not Heather Mason. It's Cheryl Mason, which is her real name, which is actually a really really incredible touch, but it's a Silent Hill 1 level. It's a Silent Hill 2 monster, and it's a Silent Hill 3 character. So it's like a tribute thing. And it's fucking incredible.
Would I be accurate if I were to assess that at current moment the maximum enjoyment you can get from Konami is if the company itself is frozen but their IPs are used as guests and other things?
So this, if you don't count PT, which I'm not sure if you should, right? This Dead by Daylight character is literally the best use of a Silent Hill property since like 2005.
Yeah, okay. Oh man.
Like straight up. The stage and the character and the monster look incredible. Pyramid Head's mechanics are super crazy. They're really fun. Like, it's the kind of thing where, you know, when a licensed character comes in, you're like, cool, licensed character. But then the licensed character is actually just a really cool character in general, like Rash in fucking Killer Instinct.
Yep.
Right? And you're like, oh, cool. Even if this wasn't Pyramid Head, I would think this character is radical. Right?
Okay.
It's a good time. It's a good time in Dead by Daylight. They also, when I stopped playing it a while ago, they were switching over to dedicated servers, and oh my god, the match times were so ridiculous. They were so bad. Now they're, as long as you're playing prime time, they're almost instant. Which, considering as a killer you used to wait longer in the lobby than you used to actually play the fucking game, it's a big fucking deal. It's a big fucking difference.
Is it just Pyramid Head?
No, the way that they put shit out is they put like a new killer pack or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You get a survivor, you get a stage, and you get the killer.
Okay. So
this one, it's the elementary school from Silent Hill 1, which its layout has been almost like pretty faithfully recreated. Like, there's the center courtyard with the big evil symbol. There's the 2 floors. There's the classrooms. Like, it's great.
It's kind of... It's a cool thing that, like, horror brands and movies almost tend to realize that it's, like, in a lot of cases, if we just team up, we can all make money.
Yeah, Dead by Daylight might be the craziest success story in that case I have ever thought of. Or heard of, because Matt and I played it on the shitstorm a million years ago, back when it was in early access, I think, and we hated it. Like, just, this game seems like shit, and that's because I hate the survivor gameplay. But the killer gameplay is a completely different game,
right? And
probably the goofiest thing is that, you know, that Jason game came out,
yeah,
Friday the 13th game,
yes, yeah,
and that's had its success. I don't particularly care for it compared to Dead by Daylight, and Dead by Daylight has had way more support. But Dead by Daylight came out with 3 characters to start. It came out with Trapper, Wraith, and I think the Hillbilly, right? And one's a evil mountain man with traps, one's a ghost, and the other is definitely not Leatherface. as a mutant like hillbilly with a chainsaw, right?
Right.
Definitely not Leatherface, because it's this thing of like they're this indie game and they want to do these horror icons, but like we're not gonna ever get the ability to actually do fucking Leatherface. What are you, stupid? Right?
Right.
And now, after its long history and success, the game has Freddy from Friday the 13th, Freddy Krueger, Ghostface from Scream. It has Michael Myers from Halloween. It has fucking the Demogorgon from Stranger Things.
Whoa, really? No shit.
Yeah.
Netflix got in on that. Huh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Now has Pyramid Head, and it totally does have Leatherface.
I mean, it would have
Freddy
been
from Friday the 13th. Sorry, Freddy Krueger from Nightmare on Elm Street. I fucked up.
I mean, it would have been fucking weird if like Mortal Kombat got Leatherface, but they couldn't.
Yeah.
Like,
Also, it also has Amanda the Pig from Saw. And like it also has other like classic archetypes like the evil clown or the hag witch or this guy that is obviously the evil murderer from The Purge. But it looks like they're gonna get everybody, because they also have Bill from Left 4 Dead and Ash in there.
Okay.
Like Ash, like Evil Dead Ash.
Yeah.
Like they got. And it's like I look at this giant list and how it's like horror all stars.
That's it. And I feel like like multiple people have had the idea of like, can we just do like monster movie mashup? And like this is the first time it seems like it's actually coming together with that many.
Yeah.
And in a lot of cases, the person who holds it's just like the person who holds the license to this thing is just stupid and or doesn't get it or is just like, give me half of the profit, please.
And it's become one of those weird things, because like it's like when third-party characters got added to Smash Bros.
Right. The opening like, of the potential. Because
now people are looking at it and they're like, is the Xenomorph gonna get it?
There's no restriction. There's no restrictions.
What about Pyramid Head really opened the door too, because he can send people to his own style of hook, which means that characters don't have to necessarily use the hook mechanic when they kill people, which could lead the way to Xenomorph. And people are like, what about Candyman? What about Chucky? Right? It's just like, why not? Why the fuck not? Right?
Well, what skirts the line of horror and then into like action movie? Like where it's just like there's a persistent badass, like I guess Terminators, right?
Yeah.
Like if you got a Terminator in there, it's like, okay, well it's not really horror, but it is a big monster type threat.
Yeah. And it's this thing where it's like I'm looking at this list and I'm like, man, the way is open for everything but 3 characters that I am convinced will never appear ever. And that is the 2 that are owned by Fox, Terminator and fucking Predator, right? Oh, and Xenomorph as well, I suppose, and Jason. And Jason has his own game, so there's no fucking way he will show up in this.
And the Cathaga from the Relic.
I would there is not one Lovecraft character on this list. There is totally a possibility for a Squid Man.
When's our Relic reference?
Never. Definitely never. Definitely never.
Well,
I don't even know what that movie is.
It's got a fucking beast called the Cathaga, and it was the hype.
All right. Fair enough.
Okay.
Yeah, Dead by Daylight, good. I've been playing a lot of it, and dude, it's great. It's just hide and seek, man. It's literally just hide and seek.
What could you okay. What would you do? Like how, let me formulate this. Could you drop the fly or the thing into a game like this?
You could do the fly would just be a monster, right? The fly would just be a monster, right? You could totally do the thing. And the way you would do the thing is it would act like the spy from TF2.
Okay.
It would be able to look like any of the other characters and thus run up to you like what do you call it? Unannounced.
Okay.
Like me and Paige. Paige plays it religiously, but she plays Survivor exclusively, and I play Killer. And we're thinking about like, well, one of the biggest things in that game is how tall the Killer is, because it allows you to see them from way further away.
Mm-hmm.
Or like, well, Chucky would be really cool, but Chucky's like, what, 2 feet tall? Like he'd be invisible. He'd be behind like most objects.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, it would be.
How would you make that fair? And what we came up with is that he would have to stab you 3 times to down you instead of twice.
But he can hide more.
So
often. Okay.
that first stab is free, right? More or less. But the others, and that makes sense. He's a doll. He can't stab you very strongly.
Also, whatever fighting back mechanic you have would be less effective if you're a survivor.
There are precious few fighting back mechanics in that game. There is shine a flashlight in their face or throw firecrackers at their feet. 99% of the thing that people are doing as Survivor to not get killed is fancy jukes.
Right.
Dude, that game's incredible. Like I finally picked up.
Keeps sounding better and better. Honestly, this is maybe the like 3rd or 4th time it's come up with like update with some new shit, and it's like, oh wow, yeah, this thing is.
It just keeps going, and it did have an issue, like I would call a significant balance issue, where the basic gameplay is you're chasing people and you stab them, but survivors can run through and drop like wooden pallets, and the killer can't just jump over them. And if the killer is right behind them, it stuns them, which gives them a huge lead. And killers tend to run at like 110, 115% speed. So you do what's called pallet looping, in which you find a little circle area with a pallet in it, and the survivor will literally just fucking loop the killer until the killer's about to catch up, and then drop the pallet and run away. And the point of that is not even to escape them, because they might get you. It's to waste like 2.5 minutes of time, so that everybody else on the map can do their objective.
Okay.
And it was this infuriating thing, because like most killers in the game just didn't really have a way to deal with that. And every killer that has come out in like a year has had some new variation or gimmick to deal with that. So you've got they added a guy with a straight up harpoon gun, who, if you get the shot off right, you aim it like it's Call of Duty, right? And if you fucking aim it correctly, you can just yank them towards you before they put the pallet down. Or I was playing as fucking what's his name, Ghostface, and Ghostface's mechanic is that if he's unhidden and peeks out from behind a tree and stares at characters for 5 seconds, they go down in 1. So you don't get into the pallet chase, right?
But
now we have Pyramid Head. Oh, sorry, after you.
No, I was gonna say like because I did play Friday the 13th, and I'm like wondering, if you're playing as the monster and you encounter somebody who's really good at wasting your time as a survivor, isn't there a point at which you just go fuck this and just go after someone else?
You just leave. You go after one of the weaker players.
Yeah, look for a weaker player. Yeah.
And finally, we get Pyramid Head, which is the most aggressive out of these like anti-looping things, where he drags his big fat knife on the ground, and if characters run over it and he manages to down them, that he can just teleport them onto a hook at the farthest ass end of the map, and he doesn't even have to travel there.
Wow. Okay.
In addition, he has a beam attack.
Does he?
Yes.
Is that accurate?
So the way that it works is that he does like a huge slash, and it is big enough that the hit travels forward in this big corridor in front of him, like 10 feet.
They gave him drive.
Yeah, they gave him drive. And the deal with that is that it is one of the only things in the game that goes through walls and objects. So you get into a situation where you're running behind somebody and then they drop the pallet and then you charge the beam up and you let it go when they hit the floor and you hit them anyway.
That's... Did he ever do anything like that?
No.
Drive, overdrive.
It's a video game. It's a video game.
That's okay. All right.
So it's this thing of like, if you're looping, he's dragging it behind you and you will naturally run over the status effect. And then he just uses his beam to pop you down. And the time that would normally be wasted on the other killers, they would have to do all that and then pick you up and drag you to the hook. He just gets to teleport you, and he teleports you at the farthest place away from him. Which is usually...
Can you choose?
No, he cannot choose.
Okay.
And he's just really, really fun and cool. Like, I don't know if he's good. You know, like that. It's that thing that they always do a public test for like a couple weeks, and then they usually tweak them based on like how ridiculous it's being. But like, I think he could be good. He's not unfair because the beam takes a second to come out.
Overall, do you find that these adaptations are like, is this one of the games where like you'd go like, oh yeah, they fucking are nailing it with the integration of the character stuff? Because like the drive thing sounds cool, but if it's coming out of nowhere, I'm kind of just wondering like, is this a game that like sort of takes accuracy into account and figures that stuff out?
The way that it generally works is that it is fairly accurate, maybe not down to the minutia, but in terms of feel. And the way that, say, for Pyramid Head works out is that in Silent Hill, you don't run fucking Pyramid Head in a loop, right? You turn around and you haul ass and you run the fuck away, right? You don't hide under tables from Pyramid Head. You don't, you just, right? Ghostface, I mentioned, he peeks behind shit to literally poke his little head out and go, oh, and stare at you. That's dead on. You have Michael Myers, who actually walks incredibly slowly.
Yes.
But the more he stares at you, the more he speeds up.
Right.
And he gets stronger and stronger as the match goes on, just like a Halloween movie. The one that was the least accurate by far was Freddy, because Freddy had this weird, terrible dream mechanic where he had to put you to sleep, and he could only attack you when you were asleep, and there were too many ways to wake yourself up. And the biggest problem with him is that he was technically accurate, but he was also so terrible. Like, the game's tiers right now go from A to C. He was an F.
Oh my god. Okay.
He was terrible.
Well, describe, like, putting a condition on the attack as such as sleep already sounds like...
He was a character that would thrive on basic attacks, but you needed to hit people with a debuff to hit them once. It was absolutely incredibly terrible.
Right. Okay.
And now characters fall asleep naturally, like they would in a Freddy movie. And he also has a mechanic that he shares with the Spirit, which is the Ringu type character, where they just naturally are invisible sometimes. So when him or the Spirit move, their character models, in Spirit's case, she stays stationary, and Freddy just disappears.
Okay.
So it creates the stop, start, or teleport effect, even though you're just moving normally.
Oh, cool. That's smart.
And the Spirit's probably got the single coolest ability in the game, in which she activates her power and you hear a VHS tape rewind noise. and as you are, or sorry, fast forward noise, and to players, your character model stays locked in place, but you are able to move around freely. And when you come out of it, your old body disappears and your new body reappears. So it is 100% the Ringu, like she's right there staring at you. And then she teleports to basically on top of you.
Right. Okay. Okay. That's cool.
Dude, the game's incredible.
Because I always like think about the examples of like Shovel Knight being integrated into various games is like the perfect litmus test for accuracy and like faithfulness. Like how much work are they gonna do? And to date, like I still say that the Rivals of Aether version of Shovel Knight puts all others to shame.
Yeah, except for Shovel Knight.
Well, of course. So interesting.
And,
okay, cool.
Last but not least, to answer your question, the worst character in the game after Freddy got buff is now Leatherface.
Because
the power set they would have given him got given to their own original off-brand character, the Hillbilly, as guy with chainsaw.
Okay.
And so they gave him a different chainsaw ability. Hillbilly's is he runs at you with the chainsaw, and if he hits you, he downs you, but he's hard to steer. Leatherface's is that he swings wildly left and right in like 180-degree like cone, but he's still at like regular movement speed. And it's like, dude, Hillbilly is so much better than Leatherface. He's so much better. It's embarrassing. But people still play him because the way that it works is you unlock perks in this game. And you unlock, every killer has their specific perks, but if you get them high enough level, any killer can learn them. And Leatherface has the best perk in the game. So you will level him up because you want to get barbecue and chili. So he will get played.
And what's that?
Barbecue and chili, when you hook people, you get to see where the other survivors are. And every time you hook somebody, you get a percentage increase up to 100% of your points that you would spend on upgrades.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So not only does it you hook somebody and go in that direction, so no wasted time.
Yep. But
it can double the amount of points you get for building your character.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer.